You guys have my screen now. So if you're just arriving and you want to follow along, it's not going to be that long of a study group. I have something planned for tonight, and I was trying to plan more, but my pup got sick earlier this week, so I spent most of a couple days at the vet. So I didn't really have time to prepare much else, but we got something. So if you want to follow along, Punisher Machine from Practical Ethical Hacking, the Hydra DC from the PEH course. Oops. So, what am I doing here? Pup is doing a little bit better. Kumo, thank you. He got some medication. It looks like he had a stroke. That's not a good thing, but our young pups get old. It happens. So in the course, Heath teaches. I'm trying to fix my screen right now because my mouse is doing crazy things on my screen, and I don't like it. I think I might have to exit out of full screen real quick. Sorry guys, sorry for the delay. Okay. Screen and computer were doing crazy things. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. In the course, Heath teaches running Mimikatz. And I think he covers getting it on the machines with CertUtil, and he covers I think he just logs into the machine and like downloads them. I don't remember exactly how he does it, but something I want to cover is I actually first came across this in the Wreath room on TryHackMe. I'm still a newbie, so I'm learning everything, just like all of you. But I actually don't know. There's a few different versions. I've never used most of them. Don't know exactly what they do. Some people might know better than me. If you're trying to follow along, the X11 is the one you want to install so you can get yourself going. I hope nobody needed done on the screen longer. Sorry. Alright, so I have my DC up. I have my Punisher machine up and running. I still have the commands here, so it'll be easy, but okay, so can you guys see this okay? Anybody? Anybody? Thanks, guys. Okay, so XFreeRDP, you're going to need the IP you're connecting to, your user, password, and then a few little extra things we're going to add on is the clipboard command. So we can copy paste dynamic resolution so we can resize the screen. And then my favorite part of it is you can actually start XFreeRDP with a share ready to go. So we have whatever you guys have your I think Mimikatz might even come on Kali already in like some kind of Windows share folder. I don't remember, but I have it set up in my transfer folder with a couple extra files to go with it. So hopefully this works perfectly for me. And there's some, I'm not really sure. I never read the manual on it. I just know it works with the part of the manual I did read is it works with everything Windows 7, Windows XP, whatever. Okay, so we have our nice remote desktop. This is awesome if something we're trying to do, if we're trying to transfer these files over in the command line with something like certutil and it's not working for us for whatever reason, or we have the luxury of being able to remote desktop. You know, sometimes you won't always be able to. It won't be enabled on the machine you're going into or whatever, but we have a nice, you know, GUI now. We don't have to, since we're so used to working with that in Windows, it makes things a little bit more comfy. Now to find our share that we set up, under network, let's see if I can remember exactly where it is. That's running slow. I probably should have gave my these machines are set up like default from the PEH course. It probably doesn't have much RAM or anything. I've only used Remina a little bit on like TeraHackMe Kumo, and I like XFreeRDP way better. See if I can get this to open. Okay, so you remember we, in our command for our XFreeRDP, everything's running slow today. Monkey Chief, we're doing Mimikatz, which is covered in the course and very useful for the PJPT. It may be the PNPT, I'm assuming, since it also is covered in the PEH course, or the PNPT also is supposedly good with the PEH course and a few others, which I'm just starting to do myself. Actually, I finished the OSINT course, and that one was really good. So you can see that when we set up XFreeRDP from the start, we have our share ready to go, so we don't have to go fishing around for files right here. Something I put in my Mimikatz folder is PS Tools. If PS Tools is not installed on the machine you're trying to run Mimikatz on, it's not going to work. Another good thing about having the desktop in the command line, not like you can't turn off antivirus in the command line, but if the machine you are on is running antivirus and it will catch Mimikatz, you can easily turn it off, or I think more easily turn it off. So we're going to go ahead and transfer these. We don't need PS Tools on this machine because it's already installed, but we're going to go ahead and transfer these desktop wherever. You can run them from wherever. And then I'm going to try to get an administrator command line. I should have upped the resources on this machine before the study group. That's my fault. If it runs slow enough, it might have to stop and Sozi, are you getting ready to take your PJPT soon? Do you have a time frame set or a date set to start it, or to actually take the exam? Oh, that was cool. Sorry, guys. I should have upped the resources on this machine before I started. Jared, are you taking yours soon, too? going on here? I like when things don't work live. I'm on an older, like, not piece of crap, but an older computer, and I should have known that it was going to run slow with, like, recording with OBS and everything. All right, so we got a administrator command prompt. We're going to need to move over to wherever we installed our Mimikatz. Or not installed, transfer. Does anybody know if there's a way to run Mimikatz outside of the command line? I've actually never tried just like clicking on the files or anything like that. Alright, so we're where we need to be. We have our files. I'm going to pull my notes up real quick to get all the I'm pulling my notes up real quick to get all the commands I want for Mimikatz so I don't take an hour to run this thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never tried to just run Mimikatz. I would do it if my machine wasn't running so slow. Privilege 20 definitely is what we want, and then probably just Mimikatz exe, but I want to make sure. Or privilege debug. Is it privilege debug? And if we get a 20, it's... Oh, I didn't run Mimikatz. You gotta run Mimikatz first. Then the privilege debug. Okay, 20, okay. And then my notes just came up, but I'm trying to do it without. I think it's sequel. Something about credentials. Logon passwords. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff you can run, but we'll just keep it short. And there we go. Hopefully you guys have that, or you can see that good. My computer is running like crap. I'm just catching up on the chat here. So, I mean, if you're doing PEH, nothing you haven't seen before, but hopefully for some of you it helped, you know, give you a different way. And then always remember when you're looking at your Mimikatz output, you know, obviously your hashes you want, but look for clear text passwords from things like shares and whatnot. The only other thing I'm going to show you real quick, we'll get out of this. I'm going to shut one of my VMs down so things run, hopefully run better. I'm going to show one other thing for the study group because it's something that has jammed me up before, and it's going to be, maybe it's obvious for some, but so we're going to connect to the DC this time instead, and I'm going to log in to the DC quickly just because I want to make sure everything is running. See if I can remember this password. Okay, so logged into the DC. We're going to do the same thing with XFreeRDP, kinda. I don't need 2 terminals. E keys to dump the Kerberos keys. AES 256. Well, thank you, Gray. Thank you for the tip. Is there any other commands in... So, I'll be honest, I've probably only run Mimikatz with logon passwords. I've seen the other options. Is there any other that you can think of, Gray, that are like useful to us, a group of newbies? Vault creds. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do it with the DC this time. And I had the command. It's kind of giving a spoiler right now to what I'm about to show you. But I just want to show it because it's something I learned the hard way. I thought that I was doing something wrong. Something wasn't right on the machine I was trying to connect to. But you can see we kind of got a funky password here with you know, all these symbols and whatnot in it. And if we try to connect this way, I don't think it's going to work. Okay, we're going to get an error that you know, logon failure. So maybe Gray can also correct me if I'm wrong. I've been told this, but even without the funky passwords, it's always a good habit to wrap your passwords in single quotes. Well, it didn't connect that time anyway. I'm not sure why. I promise it usually works. Okay. Well, the first time was just a blooper, I guess. But trust me, the wrap your passwords in single quotes. Gray approves also. So I just wanted to show that part also because I'll admit my dumbness. Not with this machine, but I tried to do it with a different machine, and I thought I could not figure out what the hell was working or wasn't working, and then single quotes was all I needed to fix. And we're in. Oh yes, does that work with XFreeRDP too? I've actually never tried that. So Gray makes a good point of leaving the password out and seeing if it'll prompt you for the password. We can actually try it. We don't have a lot to do tonight. Okay, so yeah, there you go. It prompts us for our password. I wonder if I need to wrap it in quotes now. I might have just typed it wrong, but nope. Okay, good to go. Awesome. Chicken barbecue, we're working on. This is, I'll say it's stuff from just practical ethical hacking because that course applies to both the PJPT and the PNPT. The only reason I'm doing the remote desktop tonight is because it's something Heath doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry. What module in the course is? I misread his question. Thank you, Sozy. Yes, definitely the Mimikatz one. I think it's called. Actually, I have what it's called in my notes. Credential dumping with Mimikatz. So when Heath teaches it in the course, he logs in. I think I'm going off memory here. He logs into the machine, and then maybe downloads it just straight from. I don't think he even downloads it from another machine, or he may, but he logs in the machine. And then I think he also covers transferring it over with certutil. But something I picked up that helped me out a lot is using XFreeRDP with the share to transfer it in. So I wanted to share that with you fine folks tonight. So, like I said, because of my pup getting sick, I didn't have time to plan anything else for the study group tonight. So, if anybody has any questions, that hopefully maybe I can answer. Thank you, Gray. I don't know if I took that into account ever, but I know I've definitely used XFreeRDP to go in and turn Defender off on machines that it was running on, so that also can work. Gray, do you know of a situation where, say, you have admin credentials? Can you think of a situation where you wouldn't be able to log in with, unless remote desktop was disabled or whatever? Is there ever a situation you can think of where you wouldn't be able to, with admin credentials, turn off Defender antivirus? Anti-tamper. Okay. Okay, so that's like, is that like a policy? Maybe that's set. Okay. All right. So a good thing to keep in mind. Maybe you won't run in. You'll probably be able to turn it off on an exam, but not in a real engagement sometimes. Well, that's all I got tonight, guys. If I can answer any questions, or anybody else in the audience that's smarter than me can answer any questions that anybody has leading up to their exam, feel free to ask now. I'm just reading Kumo's knowledge. So sometimes I had trouble running with Mimikatz. Some C2 frameworks like Sliver, Sharpcats, C# port. Okay. I'll have to add that to my notes. I'm just getting ready for the is anybody else getting ready for the PNPT right now? I'm not really sure what to expect with the PNPT. I think OSINT is probably going to be my biggest hurdle. Would Credman just dump anything that's in clear for like shares and whatnot? I don't think I've ever run that. Okay, so would there be hashes stored in the credential manager? I can't remember if I've ever seen that. Okay. Good to keep in mind. All right. That's all I got, dudes. Is there any questions about what we did tonight? Anything at all? If you guys are coming next week, it'll be a longer study group. Ben is coming back to talk about methodology, specifically in like an Active Directory environment. So probably one you don't want to miss if you're thinking you're going to go into the exam and you're not really sure how to proceed or put everything together. I should have my green screen next week too, so you guys don't have to see my wooden basement wall anymore. Unless some of you like my wooden basement wall. The Mimikatz capability that dumps certificates. That would be a question I don't know. We could look through it, but crypto certificates. Gray might know everything. Alright, just most things. Gray knows most things. Alright, folks, last call on questions for anyone, me or anyone else in the audience. If you're having trouble, if you're thinking about anything you're thinking about related to the exam, if you're getting ready to go into it. All right. That'll be a wrap then. See you guys next week. I think we're doing Thursday again also because is there a holiday Monday? New Year's Day? Yeah, so Ben's coming Thursday. Good night, guys. And girls.